everyone, it's the American Civil War Collector with you here again, and today I have a really unique personal ID'd item. This is the ID'd Bible of a gentleman named Franklin Hanford. There's a picture of the dapper young man. This image was captured in 1866 as he graduated from the Naval Academy. Give everybody a minute. And like always, I will be running HD images across the screen so that everybody can get a close-up look at what I've got here. Now let's start with the inscription on the back. This Bible is an 1848 Bible, and it was gifted to a young Franklin Hanford. And it says, this Bible was given to Franklin Hanford when 15 or 16 years old because he had read the Bible through. It was given by Reverend D.D. McCall of the Presbyterian Church of Scottsville. I'm going to show a couple images up on the screen so that everybody can see Reverend D.D. McCall did exist, the Presbyterian Church did exist, and Scottsville is indeed the hometown of Mr. Hanford. Now, he enlisted in the Navy in 1863. Actually, November 1862. I apologize. He enlisted in November 1862 at the age of 18. And he passed his entry exams, and then later found out that he was too old to enter the Navy Academy. They had actually changed the age requirements from 18 to 17, the maximum age from 18 to 17, and it crushed him. So he missed it by just a couple of months. In fact, he was so devastated, he spoke to his congressman, a man named Alfred Ely, and he made a plea to Alfred Ely to let him in. Alfred Ely was so impressed with the young Franklin Hanford that Ely arranged an appointment with President Lincoln, and he made a plea on Hanford's behalf. The president was impressed with both men, and Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter directly to the Secretary of the Navy requesting that Franklin Hanford be reinstated, and he was. So in 1863, a young Franklin Hanford now enters the United States Navy. He actually serves 3 months and 13 days of blockade duty aboard the ship the USS Saco during the U.S. Civil War. That's where he earns his veteran stripes. I'll show everybody a couple images here. Take a couple of minutes, look at these. These are all reference to Franklin Hanford being a Civil War vet. You'll see a couple of references. There's a reference to him on an old ironclad getting relieved. Just various little anecdotes about him. Now this man goes on to have a remarkable career. So he leaves the Saco and he gets a position aboard the USS Kearsarge. And on the Kearsarge he starts his ascent. He is promoted to ensign, then to master, and lieutenant in 1870. So he gets 3 promotions in 2 years aboard the boat. In 1871, he is then assigned to the flagship, the USS Wabash, and he serves 3 years on the Wabash in the European station. He becomes a navigator aboard the USS Pensacola, and aboard the Pensacola, he becomes a lieutenant commander in 1885. After this, his next position was as senior aide to the commandant of the New York Navy Yard from 1892 to 1895. During this assignment, in the New York Yards, he picks up his promotion to commander in 1894. After this, he goes on to become the commandant of the USS Alert on the Pacific Station. And here he oversaw hostilities in Ecuador and Guatemala. You can go look those events up. There were a couple of things going on, but he patrolled those. After that, he goes on to become the lighthouse inspector of the Great Lakes until 1900. After 1900, he is assumed commandant of the U.S. Naval Station at Cavite in the Philippines. And it's during his time in the Philippines he receives his last 2 promotions to captain and rear admiral. He receives the rear admiral promotion in 1903, the same year he actually retires. He goes on and he retires to a place called The Farm. It's literally just 30-40 acre farm that he purchases outside of Scottsville. He purchased it about a decade before he retired, and he goes back and he works the farm until he has a stroke in 1912. And this stroke leaves the entire right side of his body paralyzed. And even though he's a shell of himself, he actually continues to research and publish naval pamphlets all the way until he passes in 1928. So an incredibly influential man. He circumnavigated the globe as a navigator of the Pensacola. It took 3 years. And so imagine the places and the things that this man saw, likely with this by his side. You know, with as important as religion was during the day, it's highly unlikely that this was gifted to him and he got rid of it in 2 years. I would imagine this being on his side for almost his career. So there you have it, everybody. A really cool ID'd piece of Civil War history by a remarkable man. Saw everything, did a little bit of everything, became an admiral. I mean, this is it. So if you guys learned something and enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been the American Civil War Collector, reminding everybody to stay civil.